Welcome in, Paul Catalina's Top 5, brought to you by Texas Beef House. We continue our build to the perfect college football team. And for the perfect steak, go to texasbeefhouse.com, bid in one of the auctions, and use promo code 365sports for a 10% discount off of your order. Today, we're doing linebackers. And I just kind of put them all in here because some are inside, some are outside. I'm going to go through the guys you want on your team that can do a lot of things. The first one we're going to get to, Barrett Carter from Clemson. This dude is so freaking good. If I had to list the best players in the ACC, he's one or two. Bottom line, any way you slice it, one of the best players in the ACC, and single-handedly a reason that Clemson will be in a lot of games this year against other good teams because he just makes so many ridiculous plays. He's sideline to sideline. He gets after the running back in the run game. He does it all. If you're an NFL fan and you need a linebacker, this is one of the guys you definitely want on your team next season. Barrett Carter is lethal. He's crazy. He's old school. I kind of can't believe he didn't go in the draft this year, but back at Clemson for one more ride with the Tigers and Dabo Swinney, and will be lethal. Wait till you watch that game against Georgia. Don't know how it's going to come out, but I promise you he'll have 12 tackles in that game and maybe a big game-changing play. Next up, Danny Stutsman, friend of the show from Oregon. He didn't just make this list because he's a friend of the show. Long, lean, athletic. You can move him all over the field. More of an outside guy than an inside guy, but someone who has gotten better each and every year. Comes back to Oklahoma under Brent Venables for another year. This is going to be one of the key cogs in their defense. And for a team that struggled defensively previous to Brent Venables, I hope you noticed that yesterday, Billy Bowman at nickelback, Danny Stutsman at linebacker today on the team. Brent Venables building that team in his image. And he's one of the best defensive coaches in the country. And he'll use Danny Stutsman to get after all kind of people on the field this year for the Sooners. Next up, Jay Higgins at Iowa. 12.2 tackles a game for the Hawkeyes. Matter of fact, most of those wins kind of on the back of Jay Higgins. He was the one who led that defense, who was the centerpiece of that defense, and the reason that they had double-digit wins last year, because we all know it wasn't because of the offense. And if they are able to repeat that again, it's going to be in large part to the fact that Jay Higgins is in almost every play. Again, I'm going to say he averaged 12.2 tackles a game last year for the Hawkeyes. That's just the average. So that means that sometimes he might have had a little less. Sometimes he had a lot more. There are games where this guy is going to have 20 tackles in a game. He is going to stuff your running game. He is going to get after things. Jay Higgins, one of the most exciting players. I really love this guy at Iowa. Next up, Jason Henderson at ODU. Now, an Old Dominion linebacker on this list. Well, he has similar numbers to Jay Higgins in that double-digit tackles per game. He's just built like an old-school middle linebacker. Look at this guy right here. Look at those arms. Just ripped, squatty, low to the ground. Gets after you, put his helmet right in your chest. Really good against the run. Really good in the pass game as well. Probably a little underrated. And a player that is going to get All-America recognition when the season is over. Actually, he's probably of the major All-American teams, he's on the second team of about four of the prominent ones. So the country is noticing Jason Henderson at ODU. Kind of surprised that the next level didn't notice him as much and go and get him. Or maybe he just likes ODU a lot. But this is someone you got to keep your eye on. And the last one, I'm not labeling him a linebacker. I'm labeling him a nightmare. Harold Perkins at LSU. Not used the right way last year. Had to adjust to being a full-time linebacker. But they're going to move him all over the field from middle to outside to the defensive line. So trying to put a position on him, I just called him a nightmare. Brian Baker, the new defensive coordinator there, he has the best toy to play with in the entire country when it comes to moving things around. He is a Micah Parsons type player and can play a lot of places. And Brian Baker will figure out, and probably already has figured out how to use him. Look for Harold Perkins this year to have double-digit sacks, double-digit tackles per game, create turnovers, create havoc. This is what he's going to do. The LSU defense's rebuild is built around him. Brian Baker knows it, and More importantly, Brian Kelly knows it, and you will see number 4 wreaking havoc in the SEC in 2024, rebounding off an uneven season last year. That's going to do it for the top 5. Tomorrow, defensive line. My favorite position on the defense. Super fun. Lots of guys maybe you haven't thought about building this perfect college football team. This is 365 Sports. We're wrapping it up right now.